Six amazing pieces of evidence that hint giants existed on Earth. Countless ancient texts including the Bible mention a time when giants walked on Earth. But we all know giants aren't real, right? Countless ancient civilizations around the globe mention in their folklore and mythologies creatures of immense stature. Giants. Massive humanoids, that once walked the Earth. They are spoken of both in the Bible and in the Mahabharata, and similar stories can be found in the sacred Thai texts of Ceylon, in Greek mythology, as well as in the Aztec, Egyptian, Irish or Basque traditions. The ancient Aztecs mention in their mythology the so-called Quinamtzin. In Aztec mythology, the Quinamtzin giants populated the world during the previous era of the Son of Rain, Nayuiquahuan. A Quinamtzin stands more than 10 feet tall and weighs about 600 pounds. They were punished by the gods because they did not venerate them, and their peak civilization came to an end as a result of great calamities and as a punishment from the heavens for grave sins they had committed. The construction of the Pyramid of Kolula and the city of Teotihuacan, the place where men become gods, was attributed to the Quinamtzin giants. In Odyssey, Homer mentions giants who were a race of large and wild beings ruled by Eurymedon, who lived in the far west, on the island of Thrinacia. These beings were exterminated by Eurymedon himself because of their insolence towards the gods. Notice how both in Greek mythology and in Aztec mythology, giants were punished by the gods. 1. The Book of Giants. A small piece of the Book of Giants and the Dead Sea Scrolls. Discovered more than half a decade ago, the so-called Book of Giants is considered one of the most fascinating, yet controversial discoveries ever made on Earth. Discovered together with thousands of ancient scrolls, the Book of Giants describes the demise of the ancient Nephilim. The ancient manuscript speaks about the creatures that inhabited our planet in the distant past and how they were destroyed. To the Nephilim of the Bible. According to Genesis 6:1-4, the Nephilim were the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men before the deluge. When people began to multiply on the face of the ground, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that they were fair, and they took wives for themselves of all that they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not abide in mortals forever, for they are flesh, their days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward when the sons of God went into the daughters of humans, who bore children to them. These were the heroes that were of old, warriors of renown. Genesis 6:1-4, New Revised Standard Version. They were giants in the earth in those days, and also, after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Genesis 6:4. Numbers 13:33 ESV, And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who come from the Nephilim, and we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them. 3 Quinamtzin giants. According to Aztec mythology, the so-called Quinamtzin giants populated this world during the previous era of the Sun Reign. These mighty creatures are mentioned in the Codex Rios, also called the Vatican Codex. According to the Italian translation of the ancient manuscript written during the Spanish conquest, giants lived in Mesoamerica. According to the depictions of the Codex, Aztec warriors even fought against giant beings. Dominican Fray Diego Duran tells us a lot about Aztec history and culture. His writings offer some of the oldest texts about the ancient Aztecs, their life, religion, customs, and mythology. It cannot be denied that there have been giants in this country. I can affirm this as an eyewitness, for I have met men of monstrous stature here. I believe that there are many in Mexico who will remember, as I do, a giant Indian who appeared in a procession of the Feast of Corpus Christi. He appeared dressed in yellow silk and a halberd at his shoulder and a helmet on his head. And he was all of 3 feet taller than the others. Fray Diego Duran, The Aztecs, New York, Orion Press, 1964, pp. 5-6. 4 newspaper reports detailing the discovery of giant humanoid fossils. Countless newspaper reports dating back more than 100 years detail the discovery of massive bones of what many people believe to have belonged to real giants. In this article, we have compiled over 15 reports where newspapers write about giant skeletons that could alter the course of history. 5. A giant finger, the ultimate evidence of giants? A finger of what is believed to have belonged to a creature of immense height was found in Egypt around 50 years ago. The finger, believed to be authentic, has 28 centimeters in length. Some reports suggest that the being it belonged to was at least 5 meters in height. The images here displayed were taken in 1988 and were published by one of Europe's leading newspaper, Bild. Said to have originally been captured by Spanish sailors in the 1600s, a giant being called Captua was a 2-headed, 3.5 meter tall massive humanoid that is believed to have lived on Earth hundreds of years ago.